Why did you decide that you wanted to run for this role?
First of all, I'm running for the postgraduate officer, and the reason why I want to run for this position is because I want to. I'm a postgraduate here, and I want to share my experience and try to. I observe there are some areas of improvement on mental health support, career development, and also the academic experience during the pandemic. I want to try to help the universities to improve for our students in the next academic year. That's the major reason that drive me. I've been studying the whole master during this year, and I experienced that, and I try to help you improve. Yeah.
Great. So did you study here for your undergrad or did you study somewhere
No,
else?
no. I've studied my undergraduate in Hong Kong, and I've been working in Hong Kong for 4 years, and then I just want to have exposures in the UK. So I tried to apply, and I got it to study here in data science. Yeah,
Oh wow.
that's my journey. So I would say I've so years of experience to deal with different stakeholders and try to persuade people, because one of the most challenging area to be a postgraduate officer is not only you have to deal with the postgraduate, but you also have to deal with some senior managements in the schools, and some of the postgraduates are already have been working for a couple of years or even 10 years. So the background is way more diverse than undergraduate. So you have certain skills to persuade them or try to bring them on the table. So that's the skills that I've been equipped in the past 4 years.
Great. So why did you choose to come to Bath specifically? Like what was the main kind of a thing that appealed to you?
Yeah, I would particularly two reasons. The first one is their data science program is pretty reputable around the world, and then the reason is why the campus, and then also the teaching qualities in Bath is one of the best in the UK. And plus, from a financial perspective, looking that is it's not as pricey as living in London and studying in London. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
that are the reasons that I came to Bath to study.
Great. So now I feel like you've sort of touched on this a little bit already, but like, do you feel that postgrads are generally kind of well integrated into the university community? And if not, what are the main things that you think could be improved on?
I would say, but I would say it's the engagement with undergraduates or the activities provided by postgraduates is a little bit different from undergraduate. But I do understand that, because if you look at the timetable, the postgraduate timetable are more packed and intense, and we don't have a specific time slot. For example, Wednesday afternoon, have a space for postgraduates to attend different activities, got their free time. So I would say I would try to look at the timetable of postgraduates to try to ensure the postgraduate have all the graduates have one particular time slot. They can interact with each other, to engage different activities. That's the first part. I'm doing that, and the second part of I would say that we should set up a team to focusing on organized postgraduate activities and try to attract more students to join different activities. That's the plan.
Great. So now you say on your manifesto that you're currently a faculty postgrad representative. Like, what's the experience of that been like, and do you think you've sort of learned anything that will prepare you for this?
Yeah, it's an awesome experience, because I have a chance to work with this teaching staff and also administrative staff in Faculty of Science, and together with two faculty rep from undergraduate, we initiate three main ideas to try to improve the students' academic experience during the pandemic, because we can see because of the pandemic we have to switch to fully online, and then in terms of accessibility, we think of different strategies to improve the accessibilities of students. We propose we should ensure each course have their timetable and also the table of contents before the semester starts. Because in semester 1, we figure out some of the course, they don't lay out their timetable, what they're going to teach in week 1, week 2, and some of the students are really confused what's the high level of the course talking about. And then we initiated during during the middle of semester 1, and then most of the course, the professors, they accept our feedback and they have adjustments in the semester 2. So in semester 2, I can see most of the course, they have their course outline, their timetable, their content, really easy in a page to let the students know. So that's the experience to understand the pain point, try to drive the teaching staff to how can we work on it in a cost-effective way. So these are that's a brilliant this is a really good experience.
Oh, great. So the next question is, now you mentioned in your manifesto about the sort of challenges that are facing postgrads in terms of like welfare and mental health, and so you mentioned streamlining the counselling service. What would this look like in practice? Like, how would you hope to achieve that?
Yeah, in existing, first of all, I understood that a lot of postgraduates are really stressful on their course and also the deadlines, finding jobs, and also doing research on that. I particularly have joined the mental health support scheme, and because during the pandemic, we got a lot of emails about how to you contact a counselor, to talk with, and I need to spend more than 3 weeks to get a counselor to have a one-on-one sessions with me. It took me 3 weeks to do that, and it takes a lot of paperwork, and then I have to contact with the campus service team, and then they have to understand my case. After a week, we have to either send an email to the paperwork, many paperwork and operation stuff. Why can't we just use an app, or why have a direct approach to let us to state our what we are facing right now, and then let the counseling team to have communications, understand what the students are facing, and then we can do it in a better way. Because I don't think 3 weeks is an acceptable waiting time from starting the applications till I can have the first week to meet the counselor. So that's the thing I want to work on. How can we work in a more flexible way, or do it in a digital way, to less paperwork and less bureaucracies, and the 3 weeks back and forth? Because it's really stressful for students to wait or hand for 3 weeks to get the first sections. That's the pain point that I want to address.
Great. So do you think that would be like partly a funding issue as well, like in terms of how many counsellors there actually are available, or do you think there are improvements that could be made just by reforming the existing system without like having to hire more people?
I would definitely acknowledge that there's a budget constraint on that. That's why I'm saying, in terms of the waiting time, how can we improve the student experience? Can we also send them some emails, some useful tips on that, what particular area you're worrying about or facing? Send them some useful tips, or sending some useful materials for them to look at. But instead of just hanging around for 3 weeks, the total student experience is really bad. Imagine, try to think about you're waiting for a table in restaurant. You wait for 3 hours. Then if they give you some snacks, or give you some books to read, a place for you to get a coffee, to wait for a table for 3 hours, that would be better, right? But not just hanging around. That's what I expect. We can do. I understand that it's kind of not reasonable to hire more people. Everyone is stressed on the budget, so I'm just focused on how can we create a better waiting experience for students during the 3 weeks time.
I see. So kind of like almost having something to keep them going in the meantime. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Great. Okay. So you mentioned wanting to set up a diversity and inclusion group. So what are the main ways that you're going to make this like different from the sort of current like nationality or like support groups? Like there's sort of Afro-Caribbean society or like Scandinavian society or like LGBT society? Like, what are your kind of plans to make this like a different or better kind of group?
Yeah, you just say that we got different kinds of group, but do we have a group that connect with each other, to interact with each other? That's the thing. I see that there's a lot of groups separately, but we have to think a way how to connect with them and try to embrace the cultural difference and importance of diversities. How for example, as I'm a postgraduate from Hong Kong, and the first thing as an international leader I want to know is the UK culture, the local culture, or the Bath community. So who should I approach, or any activities that I can learn or I can get a sense on what UK culture is like. At the same time, on the flip side, I also want to contribute to promote my Chinese culture to the people from all around the world. So how can we put all the society together and try to have a theme like for every month to promote the culture and also let the international students understand the local culture. It's about how to put every society together and to interact with each other. And the second part, why I put it is as the first priority in my manifesto is I attend a lot of meetings as a faculty rep with the teaching staff, and they really emphasize on the importance of diversities in the universities. So I think each of us should have take a step further to try to build a more diverse campus for a better student experience.
Brilliant. Okay, that makes a lot of sense actually. Like, because I guess the current ones are just like having people talking to each other, like within their own group, rather than any kind of like cross-cultural things.
Yep.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I like the idea that you put of a postgrad specific career service, because I'm a postgrad as well. I'm doing a master's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think that definitely struck a chord, because like I would like a job, and at the moment
Don't
it's
worry
like,
about it. You're good. You're good. Don't worry about
it'll
it.
be all right. It will all work itself out, you know. But yeah. So like, what kind of thing what did you envision for a sort of postgrad specific career service? Like, how would you make sure that, like, say, all the disciplines are equally well kind of catered for, or like represented?
First of all, I attend several career the sections that provide a career service. I feel like it's more generic to all students, but not particular on postgraduate, or not particular on a specific industry or skill sets. Industry, I would say. So I would say, first of all, on a high level perspective, I want to make a postgraduate one because in postgraduate jobs that require postgraduate experience, a lot of them require technical interviews or technical experience for science, technically programming, algorithm, math, and then these kind of interviews that we need specific skills to be prepared or to be equipped. So, and that's the reason why I want to set up a postgraduate specific career program or career service for the postgraduate. Second is to get back to your questions about how we can we represent different programs, different master programs, right? I would say again, it's about collaborations. So we have set up a group that we have representatives from each faculty or each department to understand the latest job market updates. For example, the job update is a really, I appreciate what career service do. What the career service did. They send us email every week about the latest job updates, latest jobs market update. But how can we do it in a more specific way to let the faculty, from faculty or from a department wise, to understand, oh, what's going on in computer science? Oh, what's going on in economics, right? So what kind of relevant jobs that then in a nutshell, then every postgraduate or every students can know, oh, this is the high level pictures for all students. But what's it in for me as an economic student? Then I can look at particular area that I have to drill on. Then that's a better, more specific, and also give you a big picture on that. That's what I'm thinking of.
Great. Okay. Yeah, that would be nice actually. Yeah. And you also mentioned you wanted to improve the current course feedback structure. What do you think is like currently missing, and what would you want to do to improve it?
Yeah, our team our faculty rep team was trying really hard to push the feedback system this year, but unluckily it probably won't work. One of the existing problems I can see is the week 4 survey. So you got a survey on week 4, right? But I can see across different surveys, it's not three things. It's not structured. It takes a long time takes a long time to process. And then first is you cannot ensure the feedback that you were given to the school or the professors can be truly reflect in the remaining semester. So these 3 pain points, I want to work is a more efficient way, more structured way, and more ensure that the students' feedback can be acknowledged by the professors. That's what I want to do. Because think about, as a postgraduate, we just spent a year here, a program in 1 semester for a particular professors. If you do a week 4 survey and it takes 3 weeks or 4 weeks to process the data, it's week 8 already. Then we cannot get a better learning experience in that course. So I was thinking about, can we have an anonymous Q&A sections through Teams or after pandemic or face-to-face, or anonymous Q&A sections to let the professors have 30 minutes to listen to students' feedback, and then we make a checklist or improvement plan, and then we see how can we create a better experience in the following 4 weeks, the remaining semester. That's a better approach. That's the feedback system that I want the students or the professors want to have. It's a more agile, more flexible, and more fast responsive feedback system.
I think that's a really good idea actually, because like I suppose it's maybe part of the reason people don't respond that much to kind of feedback surveys and stuff is because they know it won't affect them, because like by the time the feedback has been given, they've already finished the unit. So yeah, that's an interesting idea. So coming on to like the last couple questions, is there basically, first of all, is there anything that you think that we've kind of not mentioned that you want to mention particularly?
No, it's all right.
Oh, all good. And why should we vote for you? What's your kind of elevator pitch?
That's a good question. I would say 3 components that why to vote for me. The first one is, as I said, I've extended experience in workplace to how to deal with different stakeholders, understand different stakeholders, their positions and their will, try to persuade them. I got real experience on that, working in a multinational company, and that's the first action. And second was I'm a person that have a really direct approach to handle things. Like I want all the things that can be more efficient, more agile way to strict to the key point to solve the problems. Less bureaucracy. So we can see all the priorities that I made in the manifesto is about how to streamline everything, how to be more efficient. That's my principle. And the third reason is like I'm a person who focusing on transparent communications. So communicate in a transparent way. I welcome any feedback, and I will walk through the feedback and see which is possible, which is not possible. But I'm not a person that will just neglect the feedback first. I would just try to understand the logic behind trying to be radically transparent to all the students and teaching staff where I have to work on. So these are the 3 reasons.